Hey you guys, I'm here today to talk to you concerning the element of air. And the reason I chose this topic for today is, as you know, we are in the month of March, and here in the South we have this saying, and it goes in like a lion and out like a lamb. And this saying is referring to the winds that come along with the month of March. And what it means is in the beginning of March, these winds come in and they're very intense and they're just strong, and they come roaring in. But by the end of the month, they have died down and they're pretty much non-existent. So they're out like a lamb, very gentle and breezy. And I think the element of air, the winds, is associated with the season of spring as well. So I'm just going to jump right on into it. Before I get into it too deep, I brought a incense with me. And the reason I chose the incense is to cleanse our space. And as you can see, I'm sitting in my vehicle, but I am here at the edge of the woods, and the plan was to go find a spot out in the woods and record there, but because of the winds, I figured that the sound would be off, and the winds would probably blow my camera down, and I would have hair going in every which way, so it would have probably been a disaster. So I decided I would just sit here in my vehicle next to the woods and do my video. And I don't think I'm gonna talk too long today because the winds are pretty aggressive. So here we go. I lit an incense, and I'm simply using the smoke from the incense to cleanse our space. And I tell you guys this each and every video, but when you are working in nature, you do not have to cleanse the area because nature itself is cleansing. You may want to cleanse your own aura, your personal space, your tools, what you're using. If you invite someone to come along with you, you may want to cleanse their personal space, their aura. But as far as the space that you're working in, it's not necessary to cleanse nature itself because it's one of those things, like a self-cleaning oven is self-cleansing. And I chose the incense as well is because of the smoke, and the smoke is associated with the element of air as well. And I'm going to get into that a little more in just a moment. See if I can rig there we go. And I do want to just kind of put a disclaimer out. If you are working with the element of air and it's windy like it is today, I suggest using another cleansing method besides an incense or sage or Palo Santos because of the wind, and it could potentially catch something on fire. But if you must use one of those methods I just said, just please be careful. But you can use a cleansing spray, a mist. You can cleanse with sound. You can do visualization. You can use music. You can speak a cleansing chant. There's so many ways to cleanse other than smoke, but you go with what feels right for you. Just be careful, you guys. I brought some stones. And the stones that I brought are stones that are associated with the element of air. And I may go back and forth. I may say the element of air, or I may say the element of wind, but it is one and the same. But it is, to be technical, it is the element of air. And like I said, these are just 3 stones that I chose. There's so many more stones that are associated with the element of air, but these are just the 3 that I chose. And, you know, if you feel drawn to use a stone that's not technically on the list of stones associated with the element of air, you go for it. You always follow your heart. You know, first and foremost, follow your heart. I'm just sharing with you things that I've learned, and you know, I hope that something I say or share with someone out there resonates, or perhaps gives you an idea of how you want to go about doing your work. So, like I said, you do what feels right for you. There's no wrong way and there's no right way. There's just our way. But I have, and these are just small, what I call pocket rocks. You can stick them in your pocket, in your purse, you can carry them in your hand. They're just the small little tumbles, and that's actually my favorite types of stones to work with. And this is just, I don't know if you can see it for the sun, but it's just it's a cube style stone of lapis. And this is just a piece of citrine, and this is clear quartz point, and I actually included this to amplify my other stones because clear quartz is known for that. You know, you can pair it with any other stone or any other thing that you may be using, and clear quartz will amplify it. It means it will make it stronger. It will give its energy a boost, if you will. And I just kind of want to tell you what the element of air means to me, and perhaps how to work with it, what it's good to help you achieve. There's some ways that you can engage yourself with the element of air, connect with the element of air. And, you know, it's not anything that is hard to do. Anyone can do it. A child could do it. But these are just some things that I do to help me connect with, you know, the element of air. And one of those things is you can simply watch the clouds. You can sit outside, you can sit inside and look out the window. You just look at the clouds, and as you look at the clouds, allow your thoughts to just drift. Let your thoughts drift like a cloud. You know, if you start thinking of something that happened an hour ago, and then you start thinking of something that happened a month ago, and your thoughts are all over the place, that's fine. You're just drifting like a cloud. Another thing I do is when I'm inside, or if I'm riding in the car and I only have a few minutes to, you know, speak out to the goddess, to call upon the elements, you can just roll down the windows of the vehicle. You can open the windows in your home and just let the wind, the air just blow and circulate. And as it's doing that, you know, you have to take note of the way it feels on your skin. You have to take note of the way it feels as it blows in your hair, how if you're too hot, it cools you down. If you're a bit cool, how it gives you a chill. You know, just, you know, take in all of those sensations that you're feeling, those physical sensations associated with it. And that way, later on, if you're working or calling on the element of air, you can visualize. You can visualize those clouds that you watched, and you can visualize the way that it felt, those physical sensations, because, you know, in spell work, it's really not all about the ingredients or the tools. It's about the intention that you have, that you're trying to manifest. You can do energy work or spell work and not have one single physical tool. You know, you can use your mind, your heart. You know, remember how those clouds looked as they flowed. Let my words get tangled a little. I'm sorry, you guys. But, you know, think of those clouds as you saw them floating and, you know, drifting, and think of the way that wind felt on your skin. You know, did it cool you down? Did it give you a chill? Did it blow your hair around? You know, just think about that. And that will, right there, that will help you to connect with the element of air. Another thing that I used to do this a lot as a kid, sit outside and watch, just watch, find an insect crawling along and watch it, observe it, just see how it goes about moving and what it's doing. And you know, if you see a bird flying in the air or simply a squirrel scurrying up the tree, watch that animal. And the reason I say that is because the element of air is, you know, it's associated with nature. It's a driving force. It's a power that nature draws off of, if that makes sense to you guys. Another thing you can do is you can sit up high. You can, you know, if you are able to climb up on your roof and sit, you know, but whatever you do, be careful. If it's just a little hill, climb up that hill and sit on top of the hill. If you're parked somewhere with your vehicle, you know, sit on the hood, you know, if, you know, you're not going to worry about hurting the hood of your vehicle, but sit on the hood, sit on the tailgate, you know, find a bridge and stand up on the bridge. You know, just find a higher plateau to physically get on, because, you know, we associate air as something that's in the sky. So, you know, it makes sense to get your body, your physical body, to a higher, you know, place, a higher physical place. Another thing you can do is you can incorporate smoke. You can use an incense, you can use sage, you can use, you know, Palo Santos. It doesn't even have to be anything extravagant. You can simply go outside and just build a small fire. Just burn paper, burn some tree branches that have fallen, twigs, grass, anything, you know, and just watch the smoke, because smoke is associated with the element of air. Just watch the smoke, how it moves and how the wind blows it, and, you know, how it's there one moment and it's, you know, it's gone. If it's a foggy morning or a foggy night, you know, get out there and just sit and look at the fog, because you can literally see the fog in the air and watch how it moves and it floats and eventually it fades away. You know, anything in those terms will help you to achieve a connection to the element of air. Some herbs that you can incorporate in your work when you are working with the element of air. I'm just going to simply name the top 3 that I use, but there is, you know, a list as long as my arm of herbs that you can use. And what I normally use is mint of any kind. You can buy spearmint, you can buy peppermint, you can buy the actual flakes, you can buy it ground into a powder, you can buy the essential oil, or like I do sometimes when I just want to unwind, and hey, sometimes I'm broke. I don't have the money to buy supplies, so I will go on a herb gathering walk, and I will simply just walk along the edge of the woods. Sometimes I get lucky and I find it in my backyard. Anywhere you go that there's some grass growing, or there's, you know, a lot of green or wildflowers, anything like that, you know, go look and check it out. Take your phone with you or take your book with you and That way you can identify what is what, because you don't want to stick your hand down there and grab any poison ivy or poison oak, but you know, you can find wild mint and you can use that. You simply pick it, and you know, I always take a basket. Sometimes I may take a brown paper bag, but I suggest taking something that is dry, like a brown paper bag or a basket. I have used a jar before, but you know, I would just leave the lid off as I was gathering them, because you want to keep them dry. You don't want to get them where they're, you know, having any moisture, because then of course they're gonna wilt and mildew. You want them in something dry, because once you get home you can work with them fresh, but whatever you have left that you're going to store and use for later, you definitely want to dry those out. And I suggest, you know, putting them in a large paper bag. If you can, string up a little piece of string and simply take some clothespins or, you know, another piece of string, and you know, you take your herbs, and I've always hung mine upside down to dry, so you'll have the leafy part hanging and the stems up top, and just clip them to that string. You know, there's so many ways that you can just, you know, incorporate your craft, your spell work into your everyday life. You know, you just, you know, and it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. I keep saying that the simplest of tools, the simplest of ingredients, the simplest measures to take to incorporate it, you know, that is the bottom line. It's not, you know, looking pretty or putting on a big show. You're simply trying to work from the heart, and you're trying to connect with nature. You're trying to become one with the universe, bond with the goddess. You know, use what you have to access the powers that be. And you know, you can do this, and it will help you to shape and mold. And you know, I'm not going to say you can control your destiny, but it will greatly help you to, you know, get it going in the way that you want it to go, if that makes sense to you guys. When I am in the month of March, or I am, you know, in need of working with the element of air, there's two main types of spell work that I always do during March, or I do using the element of air. And that is, one, cleansing spells. Cleansing spells of myself, of others. You simply, you know, go outside, and if it's the weather doesn't permit, or you're in a bad location and you can't get a few minutes to yourself, you know, go in a room and turn on the AC. Just have that, you know, air blowing. Turn on a fan, open a window. And what you do is, you know, and there's so many ways to do it. You can write it down and then burn it, and take those ashes and just blow those ashes out, you know, into the air, so it can carry your intention out to the universe to manifest. Or you can simply just speak it during a windy moment. You know, go outside when the wind is howling and scream what you want, or what you don't want, what you need to be rid of. Scream it out and let the actual wind carry it out into the universe to manifest. And, you know, tweak it to make it your own. You know, if you feel inclined to do it this way or that way, do it the way that feels right for you. Another thing that I like to do is spells of clear vision, to see what it is I need to see, to help me on my path, to get me out of a tight squeeze, you know. And you simply go out and you can build a fire, and as the smoke, you know, is coming up from the fire, you know, gaze into the flames, get in that meditative state, and see that thing that you need to know more about, or see your path, or whatever it is that, you know, you're longing to have clear vision about, and focus on that, imagine that. And as the smoke is coming from the fire, and just let that fire burn completely down until it burns out and it's simply smoking, and that little bit of smoke that's left is just floating away. That's when you'll see what it is you need to see, is that smoke at the end of the fire, once it's burned out, is just fading away, blowing away in the wind. Then you will see clearly. Then you'll get your message. And everyone's different. You might not get it right then, but you will get it. You may dream about it later, or the next day a light bulb comes on, but you will get it. And you guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. I had a few more things I wanted to cover, but I'm running out of time. So until I talk to you guys again, always remember, if you believe, you will receive. Much love, you guys. Bye-bye.